Welcome to the Energy of Houses and Properties, the collaboration that I have with house healer and geomancer Nicky Koopmans. Just waiting for Nicky to join in. Good morning, everyone in Europe, in Middle East.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Can you hear me?
Let's just wait until we connect. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Sometimes it takes a bit to settle in there.
Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, it's slow today. Just gonna check something here.
Yeah.
It's a bit slow today.
Yes, you're a bit
Can you hear me,
delayed,
Nikki?
but we'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah, so I didn't receive any questions on my end for today's episode.
No.
How about for you, Nikki? Okay. Well, I'd love to introduce Nikki to those of you who do not know her. She is my colleague in the realms of studying energetics of properties and of people's houses and any other kind of building. And she is a house healer and geomancer who's based in the Netherlands and also works internationally, providing education and consulting in the realm of healing your home by being aware of the energies that are present that could be causing you stress, unease, any challenges with your health, relationships, things in your life that just keep on coming up, and you wonder why are these issues still coming up. Well, Nikki shines the light on the fact that your home, your garden, your environment is one of the critical pieces of the puzzle that affect your overall well-being and also the flow of your life. The flow of your life. Yeah. So welcome, Nikki. So nice to have you.
I always love our conversations, and I'm curious what comes up. So we already have a couple of viewers. So if you have a question about your property or about energy in your environment in general, just drop it in the comment box so we can answer it, or at least try to answer it for you and help you work with it. Because it's all about working and connecting with the energies in your environment. Whether you want it or not, you are always in a relationship with your environment. And the more attention, the more you pay attention to that relationship and you cherish that, the more opportunities there are to flourish in every area of your life. So don't hesitate, just give us some questions.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, make it interactive. So welcome to those who have already joined. Yes, Nikki, as an architect, someone who's working with energetics in people's properties, in their homes, I'm supporting clients to vision new communities and really, I mean, even, down to the design of a small square in a city, whatever that may be. you know, I also do mentoring work with women architects and designers, and the one thing that that comes up a lot, is, well, how do I know if I'm connecting with the right energy? How do I know how? There's a confidence issue there too, where it's like, well, am I communicating with a certain energy to receive the right information that's going to support me in creating an amazing sanctuary? And also, you know, like how can one get more confident in their capacity to intuit, to use their intuition to access the right information regarding the energies. I'm someone, just to lay this as a context here. I've developed a modality called the Sacred Blueprint that supports my clients, property owners, as well as the women that I mentor, to gain their own capacities, to exercise their muscle of intuition so that they can establish their own relationship with the energies on the property, rather than someone coming in from the outside, like a witch or a shaman, and with deep respect for these roles in the development of humanity and in history, deep respect. But I think we're moving in a different direction now. World is, and we're living in contemporary life. So what I mean by this is there's still a lot of energy workers that come in and say, do this, this, and this. I spoke to the ghost on your property, and he's saying that you need to do this, this, and this, or you know, I've established a connection with the Deva, the landscape angel, and the Deva has told me that you need to do this, this, and this, and this with your property. That, I'm not disrespecting that. There is a place and space for that. You know, we need clairvoyance, we need seers, we need oracles in our lives. I'm not diminishing that. But what I think is really important in our evolution of consciousness, as we are going through the process of individuation, is for us to empower our clients so that they can form a sustainable, long-lasting relationship with their home, with their land. And when shit comes up, when shit comes up with your relationships, with your family, with building permit problems, with, I don't know, roof leaking, how to be able to give my clients the right tools to be able to work through that situation in a holistic way. So, Nicky, I know there was a lot here, but, you know, how can we give our clients the tools to be able to establish that connection in a way where they can gain the confidence? What do we do? And how can we connect with
as I said, you are already connecting with energies, whether you are aware of it or not. So the first step is becoming aware of it. And there are numerous ways of doing that, as tools you could use and rituals you could use on how to establish and become aware of that connection. Body work is one of them. You know, if your body starts to tingle at a certain spot, figure out what it means, and then you have a tool. And I always say, I like to empower my clients as well. And I always say, I want everybody to be able to brush their teeth. But when you need a root canal, you're going to go see a dentist. And when I visit people, I'm the dentist. So
right.
we need those seekers, we need those shamans. Right. They are really important. But I think it's also really important that you are able to do, kind of a first aid yourself. You are educating architects. In a way, they have the position in a project of a shaman because they have the vision. They need to work out what the client needs and wants. So you need to train them, and you have those tools. So group work is really important because that way you have a reference, because you are all doing the same exercise and somebody sees a tingle in their left toe and another one sees the color yellow, but it could mean exactly the same thing. And since you are hold on, somebody is calling me.
Right.
So so since you are
voice,
the most experienced in recognizing the energies, you can help them in figuring out what it means. So you are in this way the teacher, right, and the students, and you have them connect with a certain energy. And when you're on location, it's much easier because you put them on a certain spot and you can really let them experience that certain spot. So there's no doubt about what connection you make with the energy when you are talking about earth energy. That is a really important step, and practice, practice, practice. So if you are within a project and you are unsure what it is all about, call a colleague who you know that is working in a similar way that you do and discuss. Because sometimes I remember an exercise in group work I did in one of my geomancy studies, and I think I mentioned it before, but it was an exercise with a picture in a closed envelope. Nobody knew what the picture was, and we are sitting in a circle around this envelope, and we need to tune in and speak up what this picture should be about. And one person said, I can only see white. Another person said, I see a horse. Another one said, I see a cross, where you cross the street, cross over the street. And in the end, it turned out to be a picture of a zebra. Nobody was wrong. It's just a difference of perspective. But because you are within this group, you learn the signs of your own body language and what's your most natural first instinct. Because if you see only the color white, it could be that your natural perspective is really seeing up close. And if you see a picture of a horse, your perspective might be far away. So you learn that you can zoom in on whatever you're tuning into. So I think having fellow members of the same type of work is really important, and it's why I value our conversation so much, because you have a different way of wording things, of experiencing things and expressing whatever you experience, and it's one big learning curve. And once you start with the world of energies, there's no end to it. You keep on learning. So first of all, you do the groundwork. You get to connect with the basics, and then you connect, of course, with your client, with the land, and all those steps you teach them. You do your research, and then you let it go, and then you go to the property, and then it will come. And if you are unsure, bring somebody with you.
Yeah. Love it, Nicky. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing that having others to bounce your perceptions, intuitions, feelings off of as a reference really helps you to build that exercise, that muscle of intuition, that muscle to be able to perceive, hear, tune into, feel, know the subtle realms. And you know, a lot of people get discouraged because they don't trust their intuition, and they feel like their mind is maybe playing tricks on them. And so absolutely having someone there, some other person there to get you out of your mind and more into your body, and to say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I heard bells. I was hearing some bells, and the other person saw some twinkling of lights, right, in their inner mind. Just like you said with the envelope exercise, that in essence can be this one and the same thing when it comes to experiencing subtle realms in the energetic world. It's really, it's about that essence, tuning into the moment, being clear in your mind, in your body, relaxed state, and to practice, 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 practice. To get out there, I know that you've also used this example where you compare the energies with, compare being outside of your house, your property, with being inside your house and property, and notice the difference between the two energies. That was a really good example that you gave. And that's very simple. It's very simple. A lot of people also, you know, and actually me as well, when I first started practicing geomancy, which involves a lot of tuning into your body sensations. It's not only about dowsing with a pendulum or with dowsing rods. It's really to understand how energy is moving through your body and how you're affected by the subtle realms. And I remember, like, I was concerned about what other people would think while I'm standing on the road, closing my eyes with like my palms open and tuning into energies, right? Because there is, I mean, as you gain more and more practice, you don't necessarily have to be in these kinds of meditative positions, but I do recommend that you really bring some presence to it with your mind, body, and soul. This requires you to be free from distractions, right? Sometimes I'll have my cell phone away. I turn it off. In the beginning, I was more like that. Now I'm able to pick up on synchronicities and energies pretty quickly, even if I have my cell phone with me. This is just an example. But to be free from distractions and to really carve out that time, you know, 10, 15, 30 minutes. I prefer the morning to tune in to energies, although energies will shift from noontime to evening time, and different energies will come up at different hours of the day, but it's when I'm most clear. So it really does take practice, and I highly encourage all of you who are watching to try it out, to try it out, to even say with an intention, you know, it's my intention to connect with the spirit of the land, the spirit of place, the energies on my property, to connect, to form a relationship. And yeah, a lot of people do get concerned. It's like, well, what energy am I connecting with? Can you talk a little bit about that, Nikki? There's a lot there. There's a fear that they're going to connect with something scary, right? which is understandable, right? And there's the fear that, thinking about people who may have been brought up more in a more religious environment, it's like, wait, shouldn't I only be connecting with God? Why am I connecting with other energies, right? Like, there's all kinds of stuff there in the subconscious, but yeah, how do we know we're connecting with the right energy? What kind of energy? What would you say to people who are hesitant about that?
You need to realize that you are the most powerful entity of you. And as long as you are aware of that, there is nothing that can touch you. And that is a certain confidence that comes with practice, of course. Because, some people are more scared of things than other people are. But if you are grounded, standing your ground, and you know you are the most powerful energy in you, then all, whatever you call it, dark energies, demons, there are all kinds of creative names for uncomfortable energies. And that's what they are. They're just uncomfortable. So learn to be with the uncomfortable and know that as long as you are standing your grounds, you are the most powerful energy and entity within you. It's just uncomfortable. I don't particularly like to go in this very dark, yucky basement with all kinds of energies. But sometimes I have to be there, and then you have to take a breath, ground yourself, and just let everything go, let every fear go, and experience, because every energy is just a energy. And there is a reason why they are there. And if you can be without fear and in a state of service, there's always an opportunity to communicate, because you cannot not communicate. And of course, there might be energies around that are not even aware of you, and it takes a bit more of making yourself bigger than you are. But you can, because energy is infinite. As long as you are thinking that there is a shortage there, then you are blocking some kind of channels within you to be able to do that. Because energy is everywhere all the time, and you can tap into it. You can also, from every place you are, connect with the gazillion kind of energies that exist anywhere in the universe. And it's just, a matter of training, interest, what you come across. And sometimes certain energies don't have even names. I remember a story from a geomancer who was in somebody's vegetable garden, and they talked about the broccoli monster, because there was no other name for it, but it seemed right, and that was a way to communicate with it. So it's always a surprise what you can come across. And the more experienced you are, and the more you are able to distinguish different kinds of energies. Well, maybe a year before you would have seen it as one, and now you discover the same kind of vibe, or a combination of three. I don't know. All kinds of things are possible. And practice. And if you are a little bit afraid of other people thinking that you're crazy, go with a group. That helps with anything. Because if there are 5 of you, or even 2 of you, standing there in a church or sitting down and just tuning in whatever you want to tune in there at the moment, it's always less scary than if you are on your own. No?
Yeah, you don't need to do it alone. We're here
and there are groups
to collaborate
everywhere.
and to co-create. In fact, the group amplify it too. The group work also does even amplify it as well. Amplify the streaming in of energetic information. That's what I do find for sure, for sure. What I love too, Nikki, is what you say that you are, I may not be repeating it exactly how you said it, but that you are the most powerful entity being in you. And as long as you stay grounded, anchored, that no energy can manipulate you or touch you. I mean, there are all kinds of protection exercises that you could do. Some of them are valid. If you feel that you are really, really susceptible and sensitive. But we really do have this dualistic view, tendency to think, oh, dark forces, light forces, and that they're so separate from each other that you don't even want to get into the jinns or the, you don't even want to enter that realm. But, they are all interconnected, as you're saying. They are all actually part of one and the same thing. And it's information. It's all information. Now, what can we do with this information, Nikki? You and I have been studying the realm of studying geomancy and earth energies and house energetics for quite some time. And, we're not just studying and endless tuning in of energies. How can opening up to the world of the subtle realms and energies in your home, how can that help you to establish an environment that really nourishes your soul, Nikki? You can maybe tell us a little bit about the work that you do with your clients. And
if you are in an environment that is a continuously stream of yucky energy, you will feel it in your body and it will not make you happy. It is not for your well-being. It might be really good for other beings. A perfect example is the places where ants are, or wasps or bees are not so comfortable for us as a human.
Yeah.
But they need to be there. So if you can connect with this certain type of energy, you could maybe negotiate. I don't want you in my bedroom because I'd like to sleep there, and if you are there, I'm not sleeping very well. So you can be in my garden there in the back. If it's about beings, it's about energy. Right. It is also about when you are aware of a certain energy, and you respond really actively in a negative way on that certain energy. It might even be about transforming something inside of yourself, so you don't need to necessarily react in that similar way anymore. So you kind of become immune to that kind of energy.
Right. That a pattern is broken in a way,
gone,
right? There.
If there is an underground water stream, the energy is there. You can there are some tricks to diffuse that energy, but the energy is not gone. There's still an underground water vein in your ground, or at least the energy of it. Yeah. But you can change yourself in a way that you're not responding to it anymore. And that already happens when you just have a relationship with the energy, and then it will almost automatically disappear. The energy is not gone, but your reaction to it is gone.
Yeah. It's really about this consciousness, right? To be aware, to have the consciousness, to acknowledge that these energies exist, and to establish a relationship. And I I said that in some situations a negotiation may be required. I mean, you know, it's really like living with other human beings. We must negotiate with each other. Say, okay, look, I'm building my house here. You know, can we move the fence over just a little bit to this direction so that I'm not, so that you're not imposing on my shed, garden shed, or right? We need to have negotiations with each other as fellow living beings, and it's in my what I sense is really, really important in terms of uh, moving forward as a collective, is to acknowledge that these energies are living beings, acknowledge that these energies are living beings, especially the beings that are the nature spirits, the devas, the spirit of place, which is kind of a larger umbrella term for many things together. I mean, human consciousness also contributes to building that energy, but to acknowledge that they're living beings, that there's that the tree that we plant in our garden, the rock that we place in a certain location, deserves to be communicated to, really. And the nature spirits, devas, the whole hierarchy of beings, even angels, angelic beings, this is getting into something a bit more esoteric, kind of bigger scale. They actually need us to evolve as well. And the simple act, simple yet, it takes some practice. You need a good guide. The act of forming a conscious relationship with the energies and beings in your home is the key, from my perspective, to a healthy human evolution, as well as a healthy evolution for the whole hierarchy of energetic beings. I mean, there's a lot more to this topic, but they need us, and especially the nature spirits, who I feel most connected to, because they're the builders. They're the builders of form, and I love them so much. And we've buried them so far deep into mythology and into stories and into the dark. We put a veil, right? And a lot of them it's still in hiding. And when it comes to people's properties, I help. The work that I do with people's properties, the design work that I do with my clients, I help my clients to invite the nature beings back onto the land with certain steps, you could say. And that in itself will really, really support the flow and abundance, and even bring nutrients to the soil and help the trees to grow in a much better way. We've heard of the story of the building of Findhorn, the Findhorn community in Scotland. They started to grow like huge squash and cucumbers and zucchinis in a completely barren, salt-filled, sandy, beach-like soil, just by forming a relationship with the devas there, with the nature spirits. Now, the yucky energies that you're talking about are different. They are energies that get lodged and blocked and stuck. Some of them are earthbound souls, right, that don't want to leave. I mean, there's a whole array. Those are different, but they're also very important to establish a relationship with, because they are also a reflection of our shadows, of ourselves. so key, so key. So now, this is what I'm talking about is pretty out there, but I want to bring it down to some really, really practical results that I have witnessed, especially with the construction of our house. Things start to flow when you acknowledge and give love and invite the nature spirits back onto the land, onto the property. Permit applications run with ease. We just got the check mark, the acceptance for our septic tank. The right builders will show up into your life. I have this angelic, extremely tall woodworker who's laying the floors right now. Doesn't mean that everything is all peaches and ice cream. You know, you still run into some challenges, but in general, it's been flowing pretty well. I'm grateful for that, and I give thanks to the spirits on the land for that. Yeah. Have we been talking for a long time? Okay, well, we're good. It's 11:45.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. You know, people come to me with complaints like the kids are not sleeping anymore, and as soon as you empower the people and give them tools to establish a relationship, and of course, you know, the root canal, I'm there to help them with. They notice, you know, and it could be as simple as, you know, the kids are back to sleep through the night, or they feel more at home, or they don't want to leave the house as much anymore as they wanted before, because before they were never home. You know, suddenly after 6 months, I get an email like, I can't believe how much my life has changed, because now I have friends over and I have the rest and the quiet to be at home. So yeah, if you talk about practical, it's really simple, but for some people it's really difficult to be at home or to leave the house, which is another expression of I feel like a prisoner. I want to get out, but I never seem to be able to leave. There's always something going on. Yeah, and it's with energy work you can better a lot of those symptoms, so to say.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a garden, you can still invite nature spirits.
Yeah,
everybody, you know, has bring a bunch of flowers into your house or a plant and start talking to it, make a connection, and you will see, you know, some people have amazing results. You gave the example of Fingerborn. I once was in a training, and one of the fellow course members started an experiment of the summer and started talking to flowers in the garden. Okay, you can have so many flowers on one, I don't know what you call that, on the plant, one of the branches, and the other row could have so many flowers, and it worked. And I'm not as talented to do that because my connection with plants is not as intense as from this person. But people can do that. But if you do the famous rice experiment, you know, boil some rice and you have one jar and swear at it, and one jar say sweet nothings to, you will see a difference. You can also do it with a leaf you take from a branch, 2 leaves, and you do the same experience. You will see what the difference is. How you project your energies towards a certain being in this case. You know, if you see a jar of rice as a being, or this particular leaf as a being, or this flower as a being, even if it's, you know, not having water, and you just put it on the you know, by the window, and you do these experiments, you don't have water and nothing, you will see a difference. You will. And sometimes when people do this experience, they have totally the opposite effect. You know, the jar where they swear to becomes the one that has the less moldy. But then they discover within themselves, they feel sorry for this particular jar because they have to swear at it. So there is this whole energetics are different. They were not really aware of, but because the results are just completely the opposite. They noticed that what they actually did within themselves, they were on the surface, they were swearing at this jar, but deep down they were feeling sorry and sending some extra love through this. Yeah. So there are all kinds of teachings with those simple experiments.
So,
and if you can do it in small, you can do it in big.
Love it. Yeah, such great tips and tools. The simplest exercise, and then you'll see the power of your consciousness, your thoughts, and relationship, right, on the object. The two separate objects, or leaves, or plants, whatever, or glasses of water, right? Yeah. As you were talking, I just thought about my neighbor. His name is Musa. They're a great couple. They're so great. There's a lemon tree, okay, and I'm actually looking at it now. There's a ton of lemons on it right now, like tons. Lemons are still coming out right now in this season, okay, like late. There's tons. He's like, so I just tried it. He's like, I just tried it. I tried what the villagers told me to do. I'm like, what's that? What did the villagers tell you to do? He's like, I got a stick. And I threatened. I didn't even hit it, or maybe just a little bit. He's like, I threatened the lemon tree. I threatened the lemon tree. Okay, they do this. I threatened it to give us fruit. It's so abundant right now. There's so many lemons. So now, I think the new age way of doing that is actually to give love to the tree, but it's hilarious. He has such a good heart, and he takes really good care of all the trees. So it's like kind of like this Care Bear threatening the lemon tree. It's in good shape. The lemon tree is giving, but yeah, so you see, it's really the same thing. And imagine, people, if we spoke to our houses, if we spoke to our gardens, if we communicated. I don't care if anybody thinks we're crazy or whatever. Fuck that shit. I don't care any of that. If giving love to the consciousness of your house, like giving love to your spaces, it's so key. I don't do it all the time. I'm not saying that I'm like perfect in this realm. Our flat right now is so tiny in the main city, and it's so cramped that, like, I've noticed in the last few days, I'm just like, I don't want to clean, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to even, because I'm just like, my soul has reached its limit with that house. And then the other day, you know what? My husband and I, we were walking back to the flat, and we're like, you know what? It was a challenge living in this place, but it served its purpose. It really helped us out, because there's a lot of costs right now with our construction, and we found a very good deal right in the middle of a city on this tiny flat, and so I'm like, okay, we're just camping. We're camping. Like totally trying to change the context. Just our spaces affect us so much, and I can't emphasize that enough to all of you. Yeah. We've got some messages from Fenike. Hi, welcome, welcome. In my garden, an apple tree was blown over in a storm. It is a tree that I bond with because it gives me security in my workplace. There was only one root left with which she is still stuck in the earth. It was in the hot summer at 25 degrees. I didn't want to let her go. After 3 years, she is miraculously still alive and bearing fruit. It is incomprehensible how hard she tries to stay. I just love her. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Yeah. It's like you think it's impossible. There's no way that tree could grow again. No way. Yeah. Sounds like you're taking good care of her, Fenike. Sounds like you're taking really good care of her. Any questions? Any other comments? Ahas? As we wrap up today's episode.
Well, if you're watching the replay, then you can also leave a comment.
Yeah. Yeah. Any issues you're having with your house? Any feelings, symptoms that you are reoccurring? It could also be illness that's occurring constantly, and it may have. Just think about. Does it have to do with the place that you're in, or did those illnesses or chronic symptoms come up for you in other locations? Are you attracting? Nikki always reminds us, are you attracting the same house over and over and over again? Even if you move, you could actually be attracting the same essence, energetic essence, constantly. I know that when we moved back to Turkey, we attracted the same ugly kitchen in the rental. And I looked at my husband, I'm like, is this you? Is this your fault? Are you attracting this kitchen? It's like this kind of like old-fashioned kitchen. We laughed so much. We're like, this is the exact same kitchen that we were living in many years back in Izmir. Oh my God, so funny. Yeah. Well, as all of you tune in into some questions or comments that you want to share with us, I want to also share with you that I am hosting a live webinar tomorrow for women architects and designers. This is, if you are, of course, a property designer or property owner who's curious about my approach, welcome. Doors are open. It's a free live webinar. I will add the link here to sign up for the webinar, and you'll see it in my link tree as well. It's about, I'll be sharing 3 keys to leading a prospering design practice that's aligned with your joy and divine calling, to pave the way for the future architecture. I'm building a movement, women, to support, to support women architects in weaving energy and spirit into design. I see it as the future, and I see women in particular, men as well. It's not a man or woman thing, but I just prefer to stick to working with women. We all have the power to tune in to these energies and to make a better world, heal this planet, heal people, make the world beautiful by connecting with these energies and being successful while you do it. So it's tomorrow, Saturday at 5 p.m. Istanbul time. Tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Saturday, January 28th at 5 p.m. Istanbul time. So I would love for you to join if you feel a resonance. Yeah. Nikki, any? Yeah. Thanks, Nikki. And what about you, Nikki?
At the
What are
moment,
you up to?
I'm really into swimming. I have an exam coming up next week for safety swimming for swimming pools. It is an extension of the cold water work I'm doing. So I do that, and I'm still working on a new website. It's slowly but surely taking shape, and I will continue doing my house healing work. If you need my assistance, just drop me an email and we'll talk about it. So I'll do that, and yeah, just connect, you know.
Yeah, awesome. Nikki, thank you so much for hopping in and collaborating on these amazing talks. And yeah, I'm always amazed at what streams through each session, each week. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple weeks
sure.
on your profile. Great. All right, so for those of you who have joined, if there are some questions still forming within you, please add them in the comments below when we post the replay. And yeah, PM us, send us a personal message if you have any questions that
Thanks for having me, Aisha.
All right, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Nikki. Thanks for popping in. See ya. Bye-bye.